Now on Fast Track News, Purdue Students for Justice in Palestine protested Israeli occupation of Gaza last Friday at the Engineering Fountain and Memorial Mall.
Plus, Zeta Tau Alpha brought in big donations at their annual Big Man on Campus event held at Elliott Hall of Music.
Also, this week was Purdue's Mental Health Action Week. With it came lots of events for Boilermakers to attend, spreading awareness for mental health and free food across campus.
All your campus news, weather, and sports is straight ahead. Fast Track is back. Happy Friday, Boilermakers. I'm Travis Davenport.
And I'm Rebekah DeMoss. It's Friday, March 1st. Here's a look at your campus news for the week. First, Purdue Students for Justice in Palestine held a protest on campus last Friday that ended outside the Class of 1950 lecture hall, where President Mung Chiang was rumored to be. We were able to speak with representatives of the protest and get their perspective. Reporter Jillian Huckleberry has the story.
I'm outside the Class of 1950 lecture hall where Students for Justice in Palestine, joined with members of the community, just ended their protest to end the Israeli occupation in Palestine. Earlier today, we spoke with members of the SJP and partnering organizations to learn more.
Justice is our demand! Justice is our demand! Justice is our demand!
The SJP partnered with local organizations like Purdue's Young Democratic Socialists of America and Jewish Voices for Peace Indiana to hold a protest on campus last Friday. The group marched from the Engineering Fountain around the Memorial Mall and ended the protest outside the Class of 1950 lecture hall where President Mung Chiang was for an event. Members of the organization gave speeches, some of them criticizing the university and the U.S. for their financial and institutional aid to the occupation, which has resulted in an estimated 29,000 civilian deaths as reported by the United Nations. The SJP is a chapter of Purdue's Southwest Asian and North African Student Union and has been holding protests, educational, and awareness events on campus for Palestine since at least 2015.
Try to advocate, raise awareness, just amplify the voices of those under occupation. And as the name suggests, we're Students for Justice in Palestine. We're just trying to fight for justice in Palestine, I would say.
The SJP hosted a vigil last week on the Memorial Mall for the 14,200 children killed in Gaza. When asked about Purdue's reaction to the demonstrations, President of the SJP, Johnny Hasboon, reported mixed responses, with minor student disruptions, but overall little university backlash.
Purdue has tried to uphold its commitment to freedom of speech and hasn't put a lot of backlash against us, but it's been a lot of different reactions, I would say.
Campus police did show up at the event Friday night, but they reassured leaders of the protest they were there for extra security and that the demonstration could carry on. The SJP plans to continue to hold protests until a resolution in Palestine is met, and the YSDA says they look forward to working with local legislators and the Purdue student government to move towards peace. When asked if there was anything the SJP would like to share with Purdue students and faculty, they said,
People think that Palestine is so far away and like they're living here safe in the U.S. But no, like we always say this in our protests, none of us are free until we are all free. And if you think you live here safe and what's happening in Palestine doesn't bother you, no, it bothers all of us. We all have a role to play.
Students who wish to learn more about the SJP, future events, or their cause can do so at SJP Purdue on Instagram. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Jillian Huckleberry.
The SJP will hold weekly protests on campus every Friday and plans to host more events as the weather improves.
The next event is tonight at 5 p.m. and will take place at the Engineering Fountain.
Speaking of improving weather, we had some warmer temperatures this week, even though it did get a bit cold and windy at times.
I, for one, was very grateful to finally see the sun and soak up some of the rays by the clapping circle. Will the sunshine find its way into this weekend? Meteorologist Sebastian is here with the first look at the forecast.
So thanks, guys, and you guys are absolutely right. It's been a cold last couple of days, but we finally are looking to some warmer temperatures into this weekend and into next week as well. Currently looking at about 45 for the high today, low of 37. We do have some winds coming from the south-southeast, about 5-10 miles an hour. Will fluctuate throughout the day, but will be picking up tonight. We also do have the chance for some spotty rain and snow showers into this evening, starting about right now, 1 o'clock, about 1:30. They are going to be spotty showers, nothing too much to be worried about, just something to be aware of. Now, taking a look at today's outlook, right now currently about 43 and overcast. 3 p.m. we're going to be reaching our high about 45 degrees, and it's going to be a rather chilly night, 43 degrees at 6 p.m., 40 degrees at 9 p.m., and then at midnight about 39. So if you are planning on going out tonight, maybe bring a jacket, potentially an umbrella, just watch out for for those showers. Taking a look at the current radar right now, we do have this system coming in from Texas, the Gulf of Mexico, that is going to be coming its way over us in just a little bit. Again, not going to be looking at too much precipitation, but just something to be aware of.
Zeta Tau Alpha's Big Man on Campus event shattered a fundraising record last Friday. The event raised over $170,000 for breast cancer awareness, education, and research. With over 1,200 tickets sold, BMOC had one of its largest turnouts and most successful shows. As the culmination of the sorority's year-long efforts in support of breast cancer awareness, the evening honored breast cancer survivors, featured a speaker from the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research, and showcased talents from Purdue fraternities and cooperatives. Jacob Snyder of Alpha Gamma Rho was crowned the winner of this year's Big Man on Campus. Farmhouse and Pi Kappa Phi were also recognized for their efforts in contributing to Zeta Tau Alpha's cause throughout the year. Beta Upsilon Chi was also recognized as the top talent winner. $25,000 of the money raised will also be donated to the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. The Sisters of Zeta Tau Alpha will begin fundraising efforts for their cause again in the fall.
Wow, Rebecca, Purdue students continue to impress, so it should be no surprise. Purdue University is the number 10 most Googled university in America, joining the ranks of Harvard, Stanford, and Yale. Purdue is also the most Googled university in the state of Indiana. Whether this is because of her stellar academic degrees, large philanthropy events, or basketball superstar Zach Edey, we'll still happily claim Indiana as our state once again.
That we will, Travis. And some big things are happening in our state as Senate Bill 202 made its way further through Indiana legislature this week. According to Senator Spencer Deary, the author of Indiana Senate Bill 202, the bill is in response to surveys that say conservative students don't feel comfortable on Indiana college campuses. He also said the legislation is meant to shield professors against retaliations from their universities based on their outside political involvement, their research content, or speaking out against universities. But it mandates that faculty give an account of their activities every 5 years. The Purdue Senate was overwhelmingly against the bill, claiming it will undermine the tenure process and harm academic freedom and deter faculty from teaching at Purdue. Shortly after the bill passed the Indiana House, Purdue emailed a statement to campus, saying in part that academic freedom will continue to be ensured at Purdue for all faculty and students. The statement also adds that faculty tenure will continue. The statement was signed by Michael Berghoff, chairman of the Board of Trustees, President Mung Chang, and Provost Patrick Wolf.
Up next, check out our coverage on Purdue week-long celebration of Mental Health Action. We're also checking with the weather and sports. Stay tuned. Fast Track will be right back.
What does it take to be a Purdue tour guide? You've got to know your history. You have to know your facts. You've got to have that Purdue spirit. And you have to walk backwards.
Hi there, my name is Vikram Jaithlak and I'm the founder and president of the Purdue chapter of the University Blood Initiative. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to collect over 300 pints of blood to be donated to local hospitals, and you can be the next one to help out.
I donate my blood at the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Right, I donated my blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
And I donated my blood at University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Mental Health Action Week kicked off at Purdue this past Monday. The week is full of events that emphasize the importance of student well-being here on campus and in students' personal lives.
It arrives just in time as midterms are around the corner for Boilermakers, and the upcoming spring break brings many approaching deadlines. Reporter Joyce Duhan has the story.
As Mental Health Action Week unfolds at Purdue, students can join various events aimed at boosting mental well-being. From PSG kickoff on Monday to the Cultural Block Party on Friday, the week is packed with activities fostering support and open conversation about mental health. Notably, the coloring and puzzles events provide students a soothing and creative outlet, happening on Wednesday, February 28th at Kroc Room 230.
Throughout the events, students are enjoying the chance to express their creativity and shift their focus away from coursework. The coloring in the puzzle events with SNUFA provides a moment of tranquility and relaxation amid a busy campus life. Through these simple yet meaningful activities, PSG, in collaboration with SNUFA, fosters a supportive environment where students can thrive both academically and emotionally. We also had the opportunity to sit down with SNUFA's mental health culture and the mental health initiative to hear their thoughts on the importance of universities hosting events like this to support students' mental health. They also shared their insights on the effectiveness of using puzzles and coloring to promote mental wellness among students.
So doing puzzle and coloring paper is kind of an activities that stay away from schoolwork and have your own environment to relax, de-stress, and maybe enhance some creativity from the puzzles. I really think the mental health week is really important for students to step back and doing some relax for themselves besides schoolwork.
As the week concludes, the emphasis on students' mental well-being remains at the forefront. With Purdue student governments and campus organizations dedicated to ongoing support beyond this event. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Joyce Doyne.
This week isn't over yet, and events are still going strong. The cultural centers are holding a block party at Memorial Mall from 12 to 3 p.m.
Students can keep up with the Purdue student government and other organizations like Phi Delta Chi, PSUB, and the LGBTQ Center on Instagram or Purdue Boiler Link.
So coming up next, we are going to be taking another look at these potential showers that we are going to be getting from this afternoon into the evening. We're also going to be looking at this weekend, what temperatures could be looking at for tip-off tomorrow night against Michigan State. And then finally, we're going to be looking at next week's temperatures. So stay tuned for that.
Want to try something new? How about learning an Irish jig? Come leap into the semester with the Irish Dance Club. No experience is necessary, so come to a meeting at the Stewart Center from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. See you there.
So happy Friday, everybody. March 1st today. I cannot believe that we are already in the month of March. Taking a look at some of our forecast points for today, this weekend, and even into next week, we are going to be seeing some potential both rain and snow showers into this evening. But I do have good news. The temperatures, it's going to be a very, very warm weekend, and that warm temperatures, those are going to continue on into next week. So taking a look at the radar here, we do have this system that is forming in Texas, the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be pushing its way up, and it's about ready to hit us right now. Again, spotty showers throughout the afternoon into the evening. Nothing to be too worried about, just something to be aware of. Now, looking at today's outlook, Currently about 43 degrees, overcast skies, and those overcast skies are going to be continuing into the rest of the day. We reach our high of 45 degrees at about 3 p.m. today, and then as we look into these later afternoon hours, 43 degrees at dinner time, about 6 p.m. 9 supposed to be about 40 degrees. Those overcast skies again continuing throughout the night, and then about midnight 39 degrees. So if you do plan on going out tonight, potentially bring a jacket, think about an umbrella. Looking at tomorrow's outlook, 10 a.m. we've got 44 degrees. Those overcast skies continuing on into the morning hours, but at about noon, 1 p.m., we could start to see that sunshine poke on through. 54 degrees at 1 p.m. Reaching near our high at 3 p.m. today, about 59 degrees. We are going to be right at about that 60 mark. If the sun does stay out, could potentially warm things up a few degrees more. 6 p.m., we're looking at about 55 degrees with those partly sunny skies still in effect. And then around tip-off, 8 p.m. should be about 55, 50, low 50s, and then about 9 p.m., 50 degrees, and that overcast is going to come back in. So taking a look at our weekend outlook, Friday, today, 45 degrees with the low being 37. Tomorrow, your Saturday, looking at about 60 degrees with a low of 43. And then for your Sunday, looking at about 69, potentially 70 degrees on Sunday with a low of 50. Looking at our 7-day outlook, today, 45 with the low of 37. Again, that potential for that rain-snow mix into the later evening hours. Tomorrow, 60 degrees your high, 43 your low, looking at about low 50s around tip-off time at Mackey Arena as we go up against Michigan State. Sunday, 69 degrees your high with a low of 50. And this warm temperature really going to be continuing throughout the rest of the week. Monday, looking at about 70 degrees your high with a low of 50. Tuesday, we do have a chance for some more potential showers. Again, nothing to be worried about too much. Looking at about 55 for your high on Tuesday with a low of 37. Wednesday, similar temperature-wise, high of 53 and a low of 34. And then rounding out later next week, we're looking at a high of 53 and a low of 35.
Just ahead, is this Edey's last season at Purdue and a Purdue volleyball player possibly making it to the Olympics? I'm Will Starliper. Don't go away. Sports is next.
Creeping up from the heathens, got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens, got will, got...
As Purdue basketball pushes for a second straight Big Ten title, head coach Matt Painter revealed some big news about next year's team. Current Purdue senior Zach Edey will not be using his final year of eligibility, and he is expected to declare for this year's NBA draft. This week, in an interview on John Rothstein's College Hoops Today podcast, Coach Painter said that the program is operating under the impression that this is Edey's last year with the team. Since Edey was a freshman during the 2020 to 2021 season, he does have an additional year of eligibility that he could use. Instead, it appears that Edey will venture into a professional career in the NBA. The soon-to-be back-to-back National Player of the Year is expected to land in the back half of the first round of this year's draft. Last Thursday, the Boilermakers had a chance to make up for their loss to Ohio State in a game against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and they did not disappoint. Reporter Daniel Chin has the story.
Purdue opened strong, hitting their shots 4 for 4, but Rutgers was not far behind. Their 5 offensive rebounds within the first 5 minutes were helping them out. Rutgers was able to hold off Purdue and stay close early on, but failed to keep with it. Purdue led by almost 20 points at the half, with excitement building as Cam Heide got more playtime and knocked down shot after shot. Purdue was on fire the second half, almost doubling up Rutgers, with just over 8 minutes left in the game, 81-45. The Boilermakers finished off the half shooting 59% from the floor, with good looks from Edey, Jones, Smith, and Heide, all shooting double digits, with Edey securing 25 points himself.
Tonight, here in Mackey Arena, Cam Heidi's ability to play a flawless game and knock down 18 points, including 4 from 3, made the gap between the Boilers and the Scarlet Knights that much larger. With a lead of 28 points, Purdue won 96-68. I'm Daniel Chin, reporting for Fast Track News.
Following the win over Rutgers, Purdue traveled to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan. However, it was more than just the team who made the trip. The Boiler faithful packed the Chrysler Center and made it their home this past weekend. Purdue got off to a sluggish start, trailing by as many as 7 just 10 minutes into the game. But with the help of the crowd, Purdue stayed dialed in and turned it on quickly. In the final 10 minutes of the first half, Purdue outscored Michigan 32-14. Purdue was never able to pull away in the second half, but the crowd and clutch three-point shooting was too much for Michigan to overcome. After the game, Michigan forward Terrence Williams said, "It felt like Mackey Arena in there tonight, I ain't going to lie to you." With this win, Purdue inches closer to a second straight Big Ten title. Here's Fast Track's resident statistic major Alex Kuban with a closer look at the current Big Ten race.
Thanks, Will. Let's take a look at the top of the Big Ten standings with 3 games left to play for everybody. As it currently stands, Purdue only needs 1 more win or 1 more Illinois loss to clinch a share of the Big Ten regular season title. Northwestern is still alive, but it would take a lot to happen for them to win. Keep an eye on the Big Ten Network tomorrow at 1 p.m. as Illinois faces a tough test on the road against Wisconsin. If Illinois drops this game, Purdue can clinch an outright Big Ten title with a win on Saturday night against Michigan State. A huge matchup between Purdue and Illinois awaits on March 5th in Champaign if the Boilermakers can't secure the title this weekend. Wrapping up the regular season title would all but guarantee a number 1 seed for Purdue in the NCAA tournament. Back to you, Will.
The Purdue women's basketball team celebrated senior night on Wednesday against the Penn State Lady Lions. Fast Track sports reporter Jimmy Sebastian has the story.
The Purdue women's basketball team came into senior night after a road win against Wisconsin on the weekend. Meanwhile, the Lady Lions came in on a 6-game losing streak. Penn State came out hot, shooting 75% from the field in the first quarter. Purdue kept inching closer, but a 9-2 Penn State run at the end of the half gave the Lady Lions a 47-40 halftime lead. In the third quarter, it was Purdue's senior Caitlin Harper who would heat up, eventually scoring 29 points in the game. Unfortunately, Harper would suffer a knee injury that would take her out of the game. Penn State was able to take advantage of Harper's injury, and they closed out the win 93-88. After the game, Purdue honored their 4 seniors, Caitlin Harper, Madison Layden, Abby Ellis, and Janae Terry. The seniors combined for 70 points, 18 assists, and 29 rebounds on the game. Purdue closes out the regular season on Sunday against the Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor. Reporting for Fast Track Sports, I'm Jimmy Sebeski.
For the second consecutive year in a row, middle blocker Lourdes Myers was selected to attend the U.S. Women's National Team Open program at the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. This event took place on February 23rd to the 25th. This invitation was a high honor as the Open program is used for consideration when selecting to both the U.S. Women's National Team and the U.S. Women's Collegiate Team, where if selected to the national team, Myers could potentially compete in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Overall, this is a great opportunity for the Boilermakers, and we wish her luck. The Purdue baseball team is off to a great start this season, sitting at 6-2, tied for second in the Big Ten. In their most recent game versus George Mason on Sunday, the Boilermakers had a huge 10-run inning in the 5th, cruising to an 11-1 victory. Catcher Connor Cascanet led the way with 3 hits and 2 RBIs. In other news, Purdue freshman first baseman Luke Gaffney became the first player in Big Ten history to repeat as Freshman of the Week to start the season. Good luck to the Boilermakers as they will take on 11th-ranked East Carolina today at 4:30 p.m. This game will be televised on ESPN+. That's a wrap for sports, but stay tuned. Fast Track will be right back after this quick timeout.
The Center for C-SPAN, which is this organization, the CCSC, what we do is we facilitate like a bunch of organizations, different programs for Brian Lamb, which is the founder of C-SPAN. Anyone can be part of CCSC, whether it be through our various internships, our competitions, just to be involved, even like our student community meetings that we have every week. Anyone can go, you don't have to be communications or poli-sci. You just meet so many people. The connections you make is kind of crazy, the range that CCSC has. So yeah, it's just provided me so many opportunities to like kind of achieve the goals I have personally and forward to like whatever career paths I choose.
At Purdue University, we're not just students, we're future leaders. Join Air Force ROTC to embark on a journey of honor, excellence, and service. Learn, lead, and soar to new heights. It's not just a commitment, it's a calling. Purdue Air Force ROTC, where dreams take flight. Are you ready to rise?
I got a switch in my head. I go from living to dead. You got me seeing all red. Now I'm becoming.
So I am the president of the ski club. I'm pretty decent at skiing, I would say, but I still am cautious and reserved when I ski. And Copper, one of the other officers, was like, we're hitting this today. The last day, we're gonna do it, and you're gonna come up with me. He really convinced me, and we got to the top of the lift, and as we were going up the lift was literally like this. Then we get to the top, and I was angry. We're looking over this ridge and you can't see where the hill goes. You're looking over the edge and you don't see anything. Once I got over that little ridge and I was able to kind of see where I was going, once I got to the bottom, it was like a great accomplishment. If you want to have the time of your life, definitely check out Purdue Ski and Snowboard Club.
You're watching Fast Track News.
Now it's time for a question of the week. As you all heard in our sports block, Zach Edey is graduating this year.
That's right, Travis. It's leaving many students asking, what NBA team will Edey join after graduation? Reporter Samuel Roos asked students what they thought.
All right, so this year is probably going to be Edey's last year, so what team do you see Edey going to?
I'm a Chicago native, man. I gotta hope he goes to the Bulls.
I'm not familiar with a lot of NBA teams, but I'll just say Chicago Bulls since that's near and dear to my heart.
I mean, personally, I'm a Bulls fan, so Bulls would be cool, but I doubt that. So I'm going to go probably, I'm going to say Golden State.
I think he's going to go to the Golden State Warriors.
I think he will either go to the Los Angeles Lakers or somewhere in Miami.
Well, honestly, I'm not sure, but as a Hoosier, I selfishly want him to go for the Pacers.
So looking one last time at our radar, looking into this weekend, this is from actually starting yesterday into Monday morning. We see this system start in the South U.S. and it's going to be pushing its way, coming on through. And then we also have this system in the Rockies, the Pacific Northwest, that is going to be making its way, and that is where we could see those potential showers on Tuesday. Taking one last look at our 7-day outlook. Today, high of 45 with a low of 37. Again, potentially seeing that mix of rain and snow throughout the afternoon hours into the evening. And then Saturday, that temperature is going to go ahead and pick itself right back up. 60 degrees with a low of 43. Going to be seeing pretty darn close to 70 degrees on Sunday. 69 the high with a low of 50. Those warm temperatures going to keep on going into Monday. High of 70 with a low of 50. And then pretty similar temperatures on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Highs of 55 on Tuesday with a low of 37. Some potential showers on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday, highs of 53 with the low of 34 on Wednesday and a low of 35 on Thursday.
You can find more news, weather, and sports updates on our social media. Let us know your thoughts on stories and other fun content in our comments. If you like posts like this one, follow us on Instagram at Purdue Fast Track News.
This is Fast Track News. Boiler up, hammer down, and hail Purdue.
We'll be back next week with more Purdue news, weather, and sports. Have a great weekend, Boilermakers.